Historians say that Kedong Massacre was probably the reason why Olonana gave away Maasai land in Laikipia. What happened was, in November of 1895, there was a large caravan of traders and goods from Fort Smith, now known as Kiambu, heading to Eldama Ravine. It was comprised of about 1,000 Agikuyu men and 105 Swahili men, and 50 of them were armed with rifles. They were led by a fairly young Swahili man, considering such a large caravan was usually the responsibility of an older man or a Briton. They arrived in Eldama Ravine well, delivered the goods, but on their way back, things started to get ugly. The caravan passed through Maasai territory in Kedong Valley, present-day Mahimahiu, and 2 Maasai girls were abducted and raped. This made the Maasai very furious. That evening, a Maasai elder visited the caravan's camp and warned the leader to control his men or there would be dire consequences. Before they left, some rogue porters decided to steal a few cattle and milk from the Maasai, not knowing they were further aggravating the situation. On the morning of November 26, 1895, a platoon of Maasai Morans attacked the caravan, killing 646 porters. 540 of them were Agikuyu and 100 Swahilis. The Maasai also lost 40 Morans. The porters that survived rushed back to narrate this incident to their bosses. One of the businessmen involved in the Ibea company, Andrew Dick, was around and he decided to retaliate. He convinced 3 Frenchmen to accompany him to Kedong Valley. His mission? To annihilate the Maasai Morans. On arrival, the Maasai were celebrating their win. Andrew Dick and his men opened fire, killing 100 Maasai Morans. At some point, he realizes his gun has jammed, so he tries to fix it, but nothing happens. One of the Maasai Moran notices this and starts approaching Andrew Dick. He starts running away, but it's too late. The Maasai spears him to death. On seeing this, the 3 Frenchmen quickly drove the herds of cattle back to Fort Smith. By that time, the colonial administrators had arrived in Fort Smith to resolve this issue. The cattle that had been stolen from the Maasai were used to compensate the families of the Agikuyu men who were killed in the massacre. Olonana was also detained and asked to sign several treaties to outline the passage of the railways and trade caravans through Maasai territory. The Maasai were to vacate the Northern Reserve, which included Laikipia and Loroki, and move to the Southern Reserve in present-day Kajiado. When Olonana died in 1911, the colonial administration claimed that he left a dying wish that all his people should settle in the Southern Reserve. They even produced a document outlining this, complete with Olonana's thumbprint, justifying the eviction of the Maasai from Laikipia to Kajiado and Narok areas.